Hey guys, what's up? Juan here. So today we're going to be creating a basic scene. This basic scene is going to require one plane as a floor and maybe some objects around our scene. And we're going to be adding a camera, volumetrics, lighting, and just focusing on making something dope. This is going to be more like a freestyle. Follow along, guys. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Let's get started. So first, I'm going to be adding my plane. This plane doesn't matter how big it is. Usually, if it's really like a big scene, I go for a really big plane. But if not, I would just, make something really basic and just focus on usually my camera perspective. But for this one, we'll be doing a vertical. So for this, all you have to do is just flip it. So for this one, it's 1080 by 1920. And if you really want a high resolution image, all you have to do is go back to your resolution size, click the little star icon on your keyboard, press 2, that one. Anyways, you can adjust your perspective of your camera. So if you want it to be like a little higher, maybe you can go lower, however you want. So what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be making a wet floor. As you guys can see right now, there's nothing. It's just a plane with no material. So we're going to add a material. Okay, there's some material. So we're going to go into the shading tab. Okay, so in the shading tab, this is the nodes. The way nodes work is like you can add a bunch of different stuff. For example, if I press A, you can add all these things and just connect them and all that stuff. So it's kind of what we're going to be doing. So first off, we're going to start off with the noise texture. So we're going to place this one right here. And then we're going to hold this. And even if you hold this one, you can add one manually. We're going to look up color ramp. This one. Okay. Now grab this little yellow one and connect this to the roughness. Okay. Once it's connected, you're gonna have to add another 2 nodes. These are really basic. So again, do the color ramp, or if you want, you can just duplicate this like that, and you don't have to like look it up. But if you want to, again, shift and then A, and then look up the name. Okay, so there goes our color ramp. We're gonna need to add one more thing, and this is gonna be called a bump. So look up bump. You could do any of these, but we're just gonna be doing a bump normal. So there's that, and then this normal, we'll be connecting it to the normal. Okay, so that's that. And then real quick, we're gonna change this color to black. So as you guys can see, we already have like a floor somewhat. We're gonna go into our camera view. We're gonna open up another tab here. So usually the way I work is I open up a tab here and I have a viewing tab here that's like in cycles. And as you guys can see, like if I was to add maybe another thing like a plane or something like that, you can see it here. But if I want it to be invisible, all I simply have to do is just turn off these and it'll be nice and clean. And you can use this empty as a focus point or as a parenting object, to move stuff around. But or just delete that. Okay, so once you have your floor, you go back to your nodes and you can mess around with all of these settings. A lot of the times I just mess with everything, but me preferably, I just like to tweak this here. Okay, and then we're just gonna mess with our specular as well, our metallic and everything. So you can raise the metallic, you can mess with the specular. I would just leave it at a nice little tone. Where you want to really focus on is here on this noise texture tab. The reason is it has like a lot of the stuff that you want to mess with. So for example, like detail, we'll give a little bit more detail to the bump, and then the scale, you can mess with that and it'll make like a little bit more detailed water puddles, gives you the illusion. And then you can also tweak with the roughness, and it's really your preference, but I just like messing with that. And then I'll go down to my bump on 0.0 and I leave that as so the distance at 1.0. And here I just mess again with the color ramp. It's all to your preference, however you want it. So okay, so now we have like a wet floor. So let's say we add like a sky. The way that I add a sky is I open up this tab, and the way you also get here is just on your properties tab. So if you never find it, let's say it's like this, or you have something like this, just go into here, properties tab, and you have everything. Then up here I have my outliner. So my outliner is where I can just select stuff and it'll be easier instead of having to do this and that. But once you have everything set up, you can kind of mess around with the sky now. So the way that I add my skies is I go here into the color and I add a sky texture. And then if you want to really tweak with it and stuff, go stay in your shading tab, and then from your shading tab on object, select world, and you'll have like everything, all the settings and stuff here. And you can just adjust the strengthness. You don't always want to have like a really high strengthness. I would suggest maybe something around 0.05, maybe like that, you know, something really nice. And then that'll be our water or our nice little scene. But I really want this to be like a dark scene. I've been going for a nice dark vibey look for my scenes, so we're gonna be adjusting that. So just either you can adjust it here, you can widen this up and adjust the strengthness of all the stuff, the altitude, the rotation, the intensity. You do a lot of stuff. And again, I'm going to be showing you how the water looks, or our plane. So we're going to select our plane, and then again you can adjust the detail. You can adjust like the scale of how much you want it to be. So if you want it to look like really street, you can go for like something like that, for 30 on the scale. Or if you want it to look very minimal, just go for like a 16 or a 20 and you'll be straight. So for this one we should be using a 15. Matter of fact, we'll go for a little bit less, a bit more detail right there. We'll keep it at 16. And if you want it to be like a real street, you can go for the roughness on 0.7, whatever. Okay, so then that's what I do basically for my scenes. I said we're going for a dark scene, so I'm just gonna be changing my Nishita to Pritham. That's something like this. So you guys can see now I have like a darker area over here on the right side now. So now here I can either add a volumetric box, or I can add my character and start kind of building my scene. But the first thing we're gonna do is import our character. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, bam. Now we have our character in our scene. So here, now what you can do is you can just adjust it. You can pose it however you want. I'm gonna be adding my lighting already, just because I already have an idea of what I'm going for. So let's add our lighting. So usually I use point or area. So for this one we're going to be using area. Bring my area in front, kind of like leaving it like on the side of my character, kind of how it is right here. So I just bring it like even to it, move to the right or to the left, whatever, change that. And then I adjust like the y-axis, just face it kind of to its face, to the right. You guys can see right here more, you guys a better look. And then we just kind of increase that, you guys can see. So that's a nice little like lighting right here. And the way that I do my lighting also is a 3-point. So what is a 3-point, you might ask yourself? Well, a 3-point is kind of just like points where you have your lighting. So one key point of the 3-point light setup that's basic is on your right side, one in the back, and then kind of one in this area, not really on the left but kind of on the top. So I'll be showing you how I do that real quick. So we're gonna just add 2 different ones. We'll do again, add another lighting, another plane, bring that forward. We're gonna do our back one real quick. So we'll just kind of mess with that. So there's our backlight, and kind of bring this up a bit. And if anything, for these I'll use a point light. So I'll just kind of increase the power on it, and also just kind of bring it down a bit and a little closer to my character, like that. Okay, and then we're just gonna copy this one. So we'll just Alt D, right click, and then you can just mirror this one, just have it to the Y. Cool. So that's our basic lighting. And just this one, what we'll do is just kind of tweak it over here to the front. Just kind of rotate this like that. Cool. So that's our basic lighting here. Another thing that I like to set up is, so for example, I go to my mesh, go to my cube, and I just make this really, really big where I'm inside of the box now. And then I go back to the shading tab, open up the shading tab, click world, go to object, and create a new one for this plane since you don't have a material. So just create a new one. And then throw this away, press X, look up for principal volume, and then just adjust it. You can either do like the more, you could do less, it's up to you. The more you tweak with it, the more you kind of notice the details there. You guys can see kind of how it looks. My side, awesome. And then you can adjust the colors. So for this one, I'll do like a kind of a little, like a teal, and then behind him, we'll do like a purplish kind of look, right? So it's already looking super dope. And then maybe we can add like something behind him just to kind of build the scene. So recently I got this dope add-on that I'll be sharing with you guys. It's really dope, really cool, really cheap as well. It's kind of like a city builder, but you're able to kind of bring in your own buildings into the city and stuff. So real quick, I'm just going to be getting that file, bringing it into my scene, and just showing you how I kind of place him in my scene and adjust him. Awesome. So we finally imported our scene. So I'm going to be showing you how our big SCAPE Pro buildings look. So what's really dope about this is that you can also add like your own images and just kind of, you know, scatter them around to give it like that cyberpunk vibe. And that's like the feel that I've been going for. So this is really dope if you guys want this. It's really cheap. Definitely recommend it to go support the creator that made this. Super awesome. But yeah, you can really adjust this to however you want. There's a lot of settings for this, and you can just tweak it, have it looking however you like. But for me, I'm just gonna be adding it in our scene, so we're gonna put it back here. Give it that look right there. And our camera, what we'll be doing is we'll kind of be tweaking it as well. So we'll just give it like a little wider look on the back. And then we can also just move our plane a little back like this. Awesome. Cool. And then our buildings, kind of bring them down like so. And then this is where we'll kind of just get posing our character. We already have our fog, our volumetric in the scene. So now all we have to do is just kind of pose it. We're gonna be kind of giving this like a superhero pose look. We're gonna quickly go just into Google and just look up superhero poses, and we'll do this together, guys. So I'm looking for something really cool, maybe something like this. We can get something similar. Maybe we can do this. Okay, so I'm going to be downloading this image. Cool. You just bring that kind of in the front. Put that back here. Just get like a little idea of what we're doing. Bam. Boom. So I begin posing my image. You guys can see It's really easy to pose, especially this Mixamo IK rig. I'll go closer here. Just kind of adjust these hands, or these fingers, I mean. Just kind of go to the bottom ones here. Just move them to the, kind of, make them look wide. And again, guys, it's all about just having like your own style and just trying to find, what looks cool. A lot of the times this is just all messing, with the files and just kind of having fun. Yeah. So we just kind of adjust the head here. Just kind of looking to the side. So we just kind of fix that like this. And that is our pose, how it's looking so far. So for this, we'll just kind of tweak it here. Grab these fingers and just kind of touch them to the floor. A little bit more plain, a little bit more down. Beautiful. So we just kind of bring them up. Bring it up. Bring it up. Same as its finger. Awesome. And then if we go to our viewing mode, kind of get like a better idea of how everything is starting to look. But now we kind of want to add a key light in front. A key light is just another light that you add, and this one is going to be kind of like our main light, so we're going to be adding it in front of his face. So we just bring it here. So our key light, usually we just focus on like keeping it at like at a far distance, and then I would probably keep this at a good 95, and then just kind of mess with the colors. Whatever color you like. For this one, we'll give it like a little orange hue, just because there's like a lot of buildings here and I kind of want to give it the reflection of it. But you can also adjust your lights here that you have on the sides just to make it bounce more. That had a higher value. And then your purple light that we had in the back, you can also raise that up a little bit more, just crank it up. And then one last thing we'll do here, just kind of fix our pose, just because our finger here is kind of coming out a bit. Just kind of fix that. Give it that look. And as you can see, our character is posed. Character looks kind of like this image back here. You can see, here it is. Here's a reference. That is the pose. And you can go more detailed. You can like adjust this area, and you can adjust like leg more stretching, more bending, however you want. But we're just gonna be adjusting the leg for this one just a tad bit more. That just kind of lifting up. Cool. And then we can remove this now. Remove that. And then we select our camera. You can either use this depth of field and just select your character and select the bone and add like a nice little focus. But one cool thing that I learned is if you add an empty, regular empty here, you can bring this empty in front or maybe here. And what's dope is you can actually focus on that empty, and when you do, it'll give it like a better look, a little bit more realism. It's really nice. I have changed it to EV just so that you guys can see it in the EV mode. But if you focus on your empty, you will see that it gives it the blur. But then if we select our empty, which is this one, and we kind of move it around the scene, you can get like kind of like a controllable focus, and it's really nice because this gives it more of a realism look, because you can focus on parts of the body or just areas that you couldn't really focus on with just this one. So yeah, mess around with that, test it out. It's really cool. For this one, we'll just kind of focus it more on like the face area. So therefore we just kind of bring it in front, kind of by the glasses right there. It's perfect. And then my settings for my depth of field is currently 0.5, so you can mess with that. I also increased my blades just a tad bit, maybe to 3 or 4, and then also the rotation, increase that to 7 or 8. Even 9 is great, but we'll keep it at 8, and we'll render this. Another thing I like to do is also my compositing tab, so I'll show you that real quick. So we'll just render this. Another thing also is, if it's taking this long, what I suggest for you to do is turn off a couple of settings. I'm going to be showing you what to adjust. So go to your memory, tiling, and adjust the tiling to at least 256. Keep persistent data on. Everything else is perfect. Now you can run the render. Also for this one, we don't need a lot of max samples since it is just an image. So we'll run this at 300. Hit render. And as you can see, it'll render your image way faster. Awesome. So here's our image. So now we close that. We open up our compositing tab. We click here, use nodes. Once you have that, what I have to add is a viewer node. So viewer, select the viewer, click V, so you can make it smaller. And then now you can tweak your stuff. So what I'll start to do is first apply a glare. Then from our glare, we use a fog glow. Use medium. We'll add a lens distortion. To fit, just kind of change the dispersion to 0.2, 0.02. And you can also adjust the distortion here. So I'll just give it to same value, you guys can see. And then that's that. And then if you want to color grade your image, you can color grade it here by just, adjusting the color. So we'll do the saturation here. We'll crank this up a bit, about there. And then we'll do a contrast and brightness. So we just adjust the contrast. Put down the brightness just a tad bit, like this. And then just before rendering, one thing that we're going to do that's really cool and important, a lot of the times you just have to go here, go down to your color management. On color management, the look, give it a high contrast. And then you can also either go from filmic to standard, but I like using filmic. Just for this one, we'll use standard so you guys can see how it looks. Cool. So now we're rendering it. Awesome. And this is our final image. And then you can finally just go into the image, save as. You can save this to wherever folder you like. I'll just save it to my downloads and just call this saved. Awesome, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys drop a like and a comment below on what you'd like to see done next. And yeah, bye.